After years of waiting, Marvel is finally bringing Doctor Doom to the big screen in Avengers Doomsday. And while everyone is hyping him up and talking about his aura, most people have no idea why Doom is so terrifying. He isn't just hype, he's the greatest villain that Marvel has ever made, and the books of Doom prove it. And the twist, the actual thing that makes him so dangerous, is that Victor Von Doom could have been Marvel's greatest hero. He had everything, the brains, the drive, the conviction, but he chose differently, and that choice, that specific inversion of the hero's journey, is exactly why Doctor Doom is so terrifying. And real quick, you should subscribe and become a channel member right now, because after we understand Doom in this video, I figured out why RDJ is the perfect Doctor Doom, and I'm dropping that video next week, so you don't want to miss it. Victor Von Doom grows up in poverty in Latveria, with his mother, who's a witch, and his father, who fights for freedom from the Baron's rule. His mother uses her magic to try and free her people from the Baron's rule, but magic always has a cost, and the cost of this magic was the life of every child in the town, and his mother pays the ultimate price. She's hunted down by her own townsfolk and killed. Later, the Baron's wife falls ill, and the Baron blames Victor's father. In trying to save Victor, in trying to give his son a chance at life, Victor's father dies, indirectly killed by the Baron. So Victor is left with two truths wound together. The first is that power gets you killed, but the second is that powerlessness gets you killed. Your family can be taken from you for who they are or for what they don't have the strength to prevent, and in that moment, standing in a world where he's lost everything, Victor decides to make a choice. He's going to master both. He's going to understand the magic that killed his mother and the systems that killed his father. He's going to become untouchable. And that impulse, that drive to understand suffering and turn it into something new, isn't actually evil. In fact, it's the beginning of every great hero. When Spider-Man lost Uncle Ben and felt the guilt of his inaction, that shaped him into someone who understands that power demands responsibility. When Steve Rogers lost his world to war and decided that someone had to stand up for what was right, he chose to be the thing that protected people from what he's already seen. And the X-Men are hunted for who they are, and they could turn that hatred into domination, but instead, they choose to protect a world that fears them. Victor Von Doom has that same impulse at the beginning. He's going to rebuild himself, but the shape of what he's building is very different. So Victor leaves Latveria and becomes a student of both science and sorcery. He goes to New York to study first, to push his knowledge further, and somewhere during this time he becomes obsessed with one goal. His mother is trapped in hell, he's sure of it, and if he can build the right machine, if he can perfect the right incantation, he can reach her, maybe even bring her back. And the goal consumes him. The machine becomes everything, but it goes wrong. The violent explosion gives him that iconic scar. But the true injury is what the explosion represents for Victor. His genius wasn't enough, his power wasn't sufficient, he failed. Now around this time, his childhood love returns, a woman named Valeria. She's been searching for him, and she finds him right after his accident, but she still loves him. She doesn't see him the way the world now sees him. And for perhaps the only moment in his life, Victor lets someone in. He considers that maybe there's more than these obsessive pursuits. Maybe love is enough. The X-Men have those kinds of moments too. They're marked by what they are, and they're hunted for being different. They could turn inward and decide that power makes them superior, and some do that, but most of them choose differently. They choose to protect the world that hates them, despite their scars, despite the world rejecting them. But Victor isn't the X-Men. Victor feels his scar differently. Plagued by it, day after day, he feels it as proof he's not powerful enough. And that realization that he failed, that his image of invulnerability has been shattered, wounds something deeper than any explosion ever could. It hurts his ego, and from that moment forward, everything Victor does is to make sure it never happens again. After his accident, Victor goes deeper. He wants to master his craft in a way that few people ever could, and somewhere in the pursuit of that mastery, he makes another choice. He leaves Valeria. She loves him and she's there for him. She's chosen him despite his scar, but he abandons her in pursuit of his studies, in pursuit of this obsession. But when he tells her why, when he's explaining his choice to leave, he says he's doing it in her name. He acts as though she's dead when she's standing right in front of him. And that's a lie. It's a lie Victor tells everyone, including Valeria, but it's a lie so powerful that Victor himself believes it. He doesn't pursue power in the name of love, or in the name of the protection of the people he cares about. He pursues power because the alternative The alternative of being ordinary, of being dependent, of being vulnerable, is unbearable. And he's using Valeria and his mother and his father as the justification for his own hunger. He uses their love as an excuse for his selfishness. Spider-Man's commitment is to the people he loves and to the people he'll never meet. He sacrifices for them. He gives up his relationships, his stability, and his peace of mind because other people matter more than his own comfort. Captain America is committed to principle. He chooses what's right over what's safe. And the X-Men are committed to protection. They choose to guard a world that hates them because they see it as the right thing to do. But Victor Von Doom's only commitment is to himself. He tells himself that it's noble, but it's not. It's narcissism, but it's wrapped up in a story. He leaves Valeria, he uses the memories of his mother and father, and he uses all of it to pursue more power. Because something out of his control is more terrifying than any external threat. When Victor finally becomes the master of the School of Magic, when he's achieved something that most people never reach, the first thing he does is use that power to watch the world. He spies on the world through technology and magic. And he sees then Reed Richards, someone he met during his college days. And now, Victor feels he understands the truth. Reed sabotaged his work. Reed is the reason why his machine failed. And this radicalizes Doom. And he builds his armor. He's not just a man anymore. He's a symbol. He's something beyond human. He's showing to the world that this is not someone you can touch. This is not someone you can scar. And when he finally returns to Latveria, he goes back to the Baron who is responsible for everything that happened in his childhood. And he kills him. That's revenge. That, to Doom, is justice. And in that moment, there's something almost heroic. He's striking back at tyranny. He's avenging a dead parent. But then, he doesn't stop. He consolidates more power. Anyone who stands in his way dies. Anyone who might threaten his control is removed. And he takes over Latveria, a nation that wanted freedom, and he replaces one tyrant with another. He's just the more efficient one. Captain America has determination. His determination comes from conviction, and conviction is the entire point. The principle matters more than anything else. But Victor Von Doom's determination is rooted in something else entirely. It comes from the need to dominate, the need to be invulnerable, the need to ensure that he never feels powerless. He tells himself it's about protecting Latveria, that it's in the memory of his mother, his father, or Valeria. He tells himself it's about justice, but underneath, he knows that it's about him. It's always been about him. By the time the books of Doom are over, Victor Von Doom has everything a person could ever accumulate. He has the brains, a genius-level intellect, and the ability to innovate, to build, and to create technology that defies understanding. He has the magic. He's a master sorcerer who's able to bend reality. He can reach into hell itself and rewrite the laws that govern existence. He has the grit. He survived poverty, loss, betrayal, and injury, and he has influence. He rules a nation, he has armies of loyal followers, he has resources, and people know his name. But most of all, he has the will. The absolute unwavering will to do anything it takes to get everything he wants. Every great hero has a line they won't cross. Spider-Man won't kill. He won't let his power corrupt him into someone who decides who lives and who dies. Captain America won't compromise his principles. He won't lie to himself about what he's doing. He is loyal to the dream. The X-Men won't dominate the world, even though they're powerful enough to do it. They believe in coexistence, even when that costs them. Dr. Doom has no line. He'll use his intellect to develop weapons, to spy, to manipulate. He'll use his magic to kill. He'll sacrifice anyone in pursuit of his goals, because in his mind, everyone else on Earth is secondary to his pursuit of absolute security and absolute power. And this is why Books of Doom is so perfect. We see every moment where a possible hero becomes a villain. At every single junction, Victor chooses differently. Glory over nobility, control over freedom. And the terrifying part, the part that makes him Marvel's greatest villain, is that Victor isn't wrong. He's not delusional, he's not broken in some way that could be fixed. He's not someone whose evil comes from a place of ignorance or desperation. He's conscious. He makes coherent decisions. He understands himself perfectly, but he does it anyway. So Marvel is bringing Doom to the MCU. They could make him exactly this. They could show us the genius, the magic, the armor, the armies, the power that makes him impossible to challenge, that makes him Marvel's greatest villain. But the MCU has to commit to showing us the man underneath the armor. They need to show us Latveria and his traveling origin. They need to show us Valeria the moment he chooses to leave her. They need to make us understand that everything he is comes from a choice, not an unfortunate circumstance. And in next week's video, I'm going to write that story myself. I'm going to show you what the MCU's Doom could look like if Marvel understood what makes the comics tick. Robert Downey Jr. said, "New mask, same task." In the next video, I'm going to show you what he meant. Because Doom isn't just hype. He's the proof that Marvel once understood how to write a villain. He's the proof that they once knew how to take someone who could be great and show you the exact moment they become terrible. The question is, do they remember? Thanks so much for watching.